What's going on, podcasters and YouTubers? This is Hav here, one of your hosts for the Real Fan Review. Today with me, we got my bro, your bro, B.
What up, everybody?
We got our man in the chair, Al.
How's it going, everybody?
And we got our boy, Sanj.
Good evening, everybody. As always, it's a pleasure to be with you.
Yes, sir. So we are here tonight to celebrate finally getting here. Finally! Oh! Doctor Strange 2.
Yeah.
Or Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness comes out this fucking Thursday.
Everybody else got thrown off by the fact that they did the acronym of MOM.
Mom?
Yeah, okay, that was throwing me off. People was talking
Doctor Strange MOM?
This is Doctor Strange's mom.
Why is everybody talking about their mom all of a sudden?
I'll talk about your mom's, B. So crazy, man. But it's going to be exciting this week, man. And it's going to be hard, so hard to avoid commercials, fucking YouTube and their trailers and Marvel with their trailers. It's unavoidable. If you love basketball, you've already seen the commercial like 15 times in one game.
Oh, yeah.
Yo, I had to stop watching the playoffs, kid.
Yeah.
It's what it feels like.
And you know, for me, that's nuts.
Yeah, man.
Going to
It's so
Google for the
difficult,
score.
man. And now the latest trailer. Oh, dude,
Right?
the latest trailer now is showing the freaking shield on the. Oh, damn it!
I didn't even see it. What
Really?
do you mean? I didn't even see it.
Sorry, Brandon. If it's ruined for me, it's ruined for everybody.
I'm turning off the podcast.
How's like, fuck y'all, fuck all y'all.
Dude, I'm just. But this is funny because this is the time that we get into where we shut down social media and Twitter and all that stuff because we don't want to be spoiled before Thursday night. So listen, let's get right into it, man. This is Doctor Strange 2 Prep, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, which is supposed to have some crazy visuals, crazy story details for the MCU. And it's just going to be something it's supposed to be the next part of this whole Spider-Man No Way Home kind of story with WandaVision. So let's get right into it, man. So Sanj, talk to me, my brother. Talk to me about Doctor Strange. How do you feel about his character in the MCU and his story so far from Doctor Strange? I think he was in Thor Ragnarok for a little bit. He was in Infinity War for a little bit. Endgame at the end, and then WandaVision.
So I like Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah.
I really like him as an actor, him as Sherlock and everything. So anything that Benedict Cumberbatch is in, I am pretty much a fan of, except for Star Trek.
I was just about to say it.
Into that. But yeah, we're not gonna take it there tonight.
No.
But so I am a big fan of Benedict Cumberbatch. I think he's such a great actor. And then the Doctor Strange character, I love the Doctor Strange character because he's like kind of he's a jerk. So he's not really like your typical hero. He's very flawed.
Right.
He has real issues, that you have to deal with as well. So that's why he brings like balance, because we're used to having, really, really good superheroes, and that you can really like look up to and like say those are like good guys, but he's not that good of a guy. And then he gets a lot of stuff wrong, even though he's great at magic and he's really, really bright or whatever. Like even in Spider-Man, he got the whole, he's the one that created the whole the issue with the multiverse.
Right.
So I like Doctor Strange as a character. I like the story. I like how they've kept everything moving, and how they tied that into Spider-Man No Way Home as well. So, and now it looks like he's gonna have to deal with the repercussions of his actions. So that I like when they pick up that story like that, where it's not just like, okay, we had a happy ending and everything's great now. No, we had an ending, and then, it's going to be, we're going to continue to see what happened, because it's clear that there was damage done that has to be dealt with.
Gotcha. Al, how about yourself, man? What's your thoughts on Benedict Cumberbatch playing Doctor Strange and what you've seen from him in the last couple of movies there?
As an actor, he's done a great job. Like Sanj said, I have not seen many of his work that I didn't like.
Mm-hmm.
I liked what he did. Although I didn't like the character Khan, I did like his portrayal. Again, his acting aside,
Oh, you fucking with Sanj right now, huh?
yeah, no. Like I said, I don't like.
I'm trying to keep it real civil
No, I
tonight,
don't
bro.
like what they did with Khan, but as an actor, he did a good job. But in terms of Doctor Strange, no, I like the way he's portraying Doctor Strange. I think he was a good selection and good casting for the role, because he brings a certain level of confidence that role needs, because he's never, like you said, he's a very arrogant person, and not that I think Benedict Cumberbatch is arrogant, but he does a good job of portraying that and bringing that forth. And sometimes it can come off cheesy and obvious that someone's trying to be that way as opposed to honestly being that way. And he does a good job of acting like that is how he is.
Mm-hmm.
He might be.
Yeah,
Could be.
True. Could be.
Yeah,
I'll give him the
when you
benefit
do
of the
too good
doubt.
of a job at being a dick, you might just be a dick.
but and you know what? And he made me interested in a character I knew nothing about, because like Doctor
Right.
Strange, I'd always seen him, I heard of him, but I never really followed any of the comics that he had a heavy role in, any of the arcs that he had a heavy role in. I never really followed or paid attention to his part. So, he made me interested. He made me believe that, this character I knew nothing about could be one of the leaders of the Avengers or whatever team they put together going forward. So I like what he's done. Just see where they go with it.
Gotcha, man. How about for you, Brandon? I mean, there's definitely a distinction between him and Tony Stark, but it's almost like cocky, smart, rich, almost the same character, but yet we know the difference between the two.
I mean, yeah. I mean, for me, there is that similarity between the two of them, and it kind of that duality kind of bounces back and forth. Like, Tony Stark was the man of machines. He was the man that was all about science, whereas you have someone in his kind of same characteristics who is a man of magic, right? And that really goes against who Iron Man is as a character, and that really goes against who Doctor Strange is as a character. So that duality in the MCU is actually pretty cool. Of essentially that one personality, but there's that mix there of those sides that they don't really grasp upon or agree about. And like Al said, like I've seen Doctor Strange in many comics, many cartoon shows, and he's never had like a central role before. Like the episode was based around Doctor Strange, because of a demon or something. But never. I don't think anything ever called for Doctor Strange. Like, oh, like Thanos is coming. Call Doctor Strange. Like no one's ever said that. Like like it's always something that's like paranormal.
Yeah.
So like to have
Get
like
the wizard.
Yeah, like like in this instance, to have him be so central to this MCU cast is pretty awesome. And I've genuinely have really liked his portrayal throughout these movies. I think the only movie that I wasn't like the most sold on him was No Way Home. Like he kind of just seemed like he was there, and that could have been due to the swap of the movies that they had, like changing the lines and such, to match the new order of the movies. I get that can be awkward, but like I just felt like he was a little out of place in No Way Home, and they were trying to make him work. Especially like the hairdo was off. It was really off for me. Like it looked like he was wearing a wig, and it was just like this slicked back circle on his head. Like it was weird.
No.
But other than that, like I genuinely
and the ill wingtips.
Yeah, like it was weird. But genuinely, like I genuinely liked the first Doctor Strange movie. I love the approach to the movie. There's a couple things that just I don't understand so much yet, but I'm hoping maybe it's explained further in this movie of what his the Supreme One, what does that really mean for his order? We know that Wong is the Supreme Being right now, or the Supreme One. I forget what it is.
The Sorcerer Supreme.
The Sorcerer Supreme. Thank you so much. But like, what's the point of the Mirrorverse? Like, other than looking really cool and we can fight there and nothing happens in real life, like, why do we go into the Mirrorverse? Why do people open that? And that was something that happened in the first Doctor Strange movie where I was like, that's really cool, but why? Why are we doing that? Like, like that. I never really understood the why about it, other than like I can influence it because I opened it. Like, cool.
Gotcha.
Like, Cool.
Cool.
Like it looks pretty.
Oh,
It's
man.
Inception. I don't know.
Cool story, bro.
I mean, listen, like I said, we've seen it in a couple movies there. Al, what happens to be your favorite Doctor Strange in the movies that you've seen so far? Like, again, you've had Doctor Strange, Infinity War, Endgame. I believe he was in Thor Ragnarok for just a little brief second there to help Thor find Loki, help Thor and Loki find their dad. And then I think he was also in, he was in No Way Home. So out of those movies there, is there anywhere where he stood out the most to you?
It's honestly the one that you didn't include, which is the What If. Like, I don't know if we're
that's
including
right. That What If was kind of crazy.
The What If, yeah.
So that's the one that stood out the most for me because, like, in all these movies, they've shown him as being like the leader, the fighter, the wizard, all the intelligent. But other than the first one, the one that mostly showed like an emotional side of him was What If. Like, they showed the trauma he went through when I forget the name of the
Rachel.
Christine Palmer.
Rachel, when Rachel died. Yeah, when she dies.
Why? Who's Rachel?
Oh, that's her real name, I think.
Rachel McAdams.
Rachel Adams?
McAdams, yeah. Yeah. So when her character dies, like, you actually see him go through the turmoil and what that makes him do and what it makes him resort to in terms of trying to make sure that she stays alive. And, culminating in him being left alone, like literally destroying his universe and being left alone in that prison. So, like, to me, that was his standout story for me.
Gotcha.
And I'd be interested, given some of the cameos we've seen in the commercial and the trailers.
Right.
I'd be interested to see if that Doctor Strange is in the movie as well.
Yeah, man. I mean, that was probably the best episode of What If was the Doctor Strange one.
Yeah.
I think it was like episode 4, which was just absolutely insane. Sanj, how about yourself, man? Is there any story that stands out to you the most, or any movie that stands out to the most to you for Doctor Strange?
Well, I agree with Al that it's the What If. I like that Doctor Strange story the best. So I guess I don't have anything else to say about that. So I'll say what I think was the worst.
Go for it.
No, Spider-Man No Way Home. He was the absolute worst.
Yeah, some of those decisions did not make any sense.
Scooby-Doo this shit.
And then when and then when MJ called him out, she really like hit the nail on the head. She's like, so wait, you did all this and whatever, and you're the adult, and we got to fix this? And he's like, wait, what?
Absolutely, man. For me, my favorite Doctor Strange in the movies has been Infinity War. That whole scene where, Hulk and Iron Man are in the Sanctum Sanctorum.
Yes.
Right? They're all there talking about Thanos is coming and who Thanos is and explaining the Infinity Stones. But it's the scene when the 4 of them come out of the building. They look at those 2 guys. I forgot the guys' names, but they were part of the Black Order. And they're in the streets of Manhattan fighting them and showing the wizards, the skills and stuff. That whole battle scene was just incredible, man. I absolutely loved it. Also, I think he had a great part in Infinity War versus Thanos when they had the magic showdown. I thought that was absolutely incredible because I'll be honest with you, I wasn't a big fan of Doctor Strange Part 1. So when I saw Doctor Strange 1, I was like, all right, it was cool, like nice. I'm into the story. I like the magic, the way it looks. But Infinity War, I was like, oh, he is the Sorcerer Supreme. When he did the freaking Namaste and a bunch of like Doctor Strangers were behind him and they all did the bands. Oh, dude, I lost it in the theater, man. And I mean, he did he I don't remember him doing anything in Endgame at the end at that battle.
No, I mean,
wasn't it him that opened all the portals for everybody to come through?
Okay, that's pretty important.
Okay,
and he held
I was just checking. Just checking.
Sanj checking. Yes, that's really important.
He held back the water.
It might have been Wong. I'm just saying it might have been Wong.
Well, it might have been. It could have been a couple of them, right? But he definitely held his own in Infinity War.
Yeah.
Al, were we saying that in here? Yeah, Al,
no, during the Endgame battle, when they broke the dam, he was holding the water back from drowning everybody.
So he held some water. Okay, boring.
He held some water.
Wow,
that's a good point.
If Batman has taught us anything, a little water never hurt anybody.
But was it Wong that opened the portals? That's a good question. Because remember, Wong is at this point the Sorcerer Supreme because
Right.
He
Yeah,
disappeared.
because he was
Yeah,
gone for
but
the
then
5 years.
No Way Home kind of took it away because now even freaking Ned could do a little
No, and
little
even
portal
more
there.
if you think about the question too, because remember, Doctor Strange goes, "Is that everyone?" So was he the one that brought everybody? Because Wong
No, it
goes,
was Captain America that says, "Is that everyone?" And Wong was like, "You wanted more."
Was there? You wanted more?
Brandon, how about you, brother? What is your favorite Doctor Strange movie, story, scene? What talk to me, man?
I just like you, I love Doctor Strange and Infinity War. You know, just the way he handled
Badass.
himself throughout the movie, because like, you know, we've never, other than in the first Doctor Strange movie, we never really got to see him handle himself, you know?
Mhm.
So to see him then like kick ass in all of Infinity War, basically till he get dusted, you know, I thought that was really awesome. Um, I think honestly, one of my favorite moments for him, though, as weird as it may sound, is the 10 minutes that we have of him in Thor Ragnarok. Just because like it shows me like an established Doctor Strange, like, you know, he's being the Sorcerer Supreme at this moment. You know, he's like, we've got
Right.
a list of people, I'm keeping tabs on them. You know, I can do X, Y, and Z. I'm gonna fuck with Loki for a little bit. Like, you know, like it just showed me like this guy doesn't mess around when he doesn't want to mess around. You know, like,
Right.
so I actually, as short of a cameo that it was, I was like, oh, so this is what he looks like when he's like being serious as the Sorcerer Supreme. Like, I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, man. I mean, he's shown us a lot of things. Is there a particular power that you seen him use, Sanj, that you prefer personally was like, that was crazy? Like, what's the one power you seen him use or seen that you've seen him do something where you were like, yeah, that's nuts?
I just like when, you know, he has the power where he like can make the buzzsaw thing that can cut things in half, which is pretty cool.
Okay.
But I mean, it's probably his simplest power that I find really cool. Not because of the power itself, but because how he uses it
Mhm.
to open and close the portals. So it's like you can make so like if somebody's running at you, you can just like open a portal in front of you, and then they like run,
Uh-huh.
and like they end up like behind you or something like.
Mhm.
It's just like the way he uses the portals.
Gotcha.
I really, really like the way he uses the portals.
Yeah, I think he even used the portal one time to almost cut off someone's arm. Wasn't it one
Yes,
of the big
yes,
guys from
they
the
were
Black Order?
they were trying to do that with for the Infinity Gauntlet too, but it didn't work out. But it was just like how he uses the power. I just like that how he uses that power.
Yeah. How
You know,
about for
where he
you,
thinks about it.
be anything that stands out to you as far as his powers that you've seen him use? You're like, that was crazy.
I honestly, just the whole Thanos fight in Infinity War, like everything he was doing was new. We never saw that in any of the movies, and so I thought that was really cool. Like when he did the bands, when he was, you know, kind of casting himself in multiple places. I thought that was really interesting because I out of the first Doctor Strange movie was the first time we saw him fight. You know, like he didn't do anything other than
Right.
open the mirror dimension and then maybe cast a couple things here and then the time stone, right? So like he didn't do much.
Gotcha.
And so to see him like in this fight and he's doing all of these things, they're like, oh shit, when you learn that, you know? So I thought that scene was really
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. How about you, for Al? Any particular part or power that you've seen him use that you pretty like?
I guess just when he used the time stone at the end of Doctor Strange 1,
Mhm.
and he like because you know he's going against basically what, a god or something.
Yeah, Dormammu.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and his way of beating him was by using the time stone to make Dormammu beat himself. Basically,
Mhm.
realize, yo, you can keep killing me, but you're just stuck. You are stuck in this loop right now,
Yeah.
and making him say, give up, basically, and tap out. So, like, just his creativity of how he uses his powers, and the fact that he knew how to use what he had available to him, given his opponent. So, I don't know if you want to say a power or just uh his smarts.
His creativity,
smarts.
his
Yeah,
creativity with his powers.
his adaptability. Yeah.
Yeah, gotcha, man. Now, be a big thing in this movie, of course, it's called the Multiverse of Madness. And we're not exactly sure what broke the multiverse or why this is all happening. And of course, we'll find out for sure on Thursday night. But B, for you, there's been multiple things that have happened, right? We've had Wanda mess with the way the world has worked, and especially with her thing in New Jersey there. We also have the stuff that happened in No Way Home. We also have something that Al brought up one time on the podcast was for him to see all 6 million whatever number plus visions of how to win in the end game, he had to experience those different things happening,
Timelines.
right?
Yeah.
So that's him going in time, coming back, going in time, coming back. So that probably created a bunch of multiverses as well. But then we also have the Loki series saying Loki broke the multiverse. What is your thought process there, B? What did it? What broke this multiverse to be so crazy right now?
You know, I feel like it has to be like a plethora of all of those things, but I think it also happens to be whatever's going on with America Chavez. You know, whatever's happening with her
Mm-hmm.
and her ability to open up multiverse portals, the star portals, that's her power. I feel like whatever
Right.
she's doing, like maybe whatever came to her when she was able to start her power, maybe she was opening up too many doors without realizing, or understanding what she was doing. Maybe that brought people over, so maybe that was the start of it. And with everything, the Nexus event with Wanda, and all of these things, you
Mm-hmm.
just kept beating the multiverse, or just beating that wall that the Watcher was looking at. Just like the way Ultron was able to shatter himself through the wall, maybe everything they did in this universe at one moment, because we saw in Loki that at one moment Kang was like, boom, and that's the moment. Like, and this is where I don't know what happens after this, right? Like, and when he said
Right.
that, like maybe it was a mixture of the Nexus event, the Loki thing, No Way Home, maybe all of those things happening in one universe just broke at the wall.
Gotcha. Sanjay, you have to put $100 down. What is causing the multiverse to go crazy?
I think Loki probably started it because remember he went past the end of time. Remember he was at because time was like something that kept going, but it had to it had to like right itself,
Mm-hmm.
and then he went to like where time like there wasn't anything else. So like basically the end of time, and then he messed it up there. But I think also there's all these different things making cracks, and then when and like weakening it, think of it like if you're going out on an icy lake kind of thing. It starts a little crack here, a little crack there, and then it just starts to like really like web out, and it just goes like boosh, and everything cracks up. But when Doctor Strange does the thing in No Way Home, where he's trying to like fix it for Peter, that's the thing that like finally breaks it through. That's like the last straw then that breaks the camel's back.
Gotcha, man. Yeah, man. I mean, Al, when I think about the multiverse of madness here, and I think like what's going on with the multiverse, is it just so happens that all these stories are dealing with other universes at play and stuff like that. And like, we've seen the commercials, we're seeing Patrick Stewart possibly playing our old X-Men person, or it could be a variant. We've seen this whole thing with Loki. So it's almost like there's so many different routes it could go. I'm going to personally go with the Loki route because they showed the different timelines going out, or the different universes being close together and merging with one another.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just weird that everything just happens to be happening all at one time with the, No Way Home thing. But what's your bet on, Al? What's going on here?
I think it's like what Sanj was touching on. I think they're going to incorporate the No Way Home event,
Mm-hmm.
and possibly be when they were on top of the Statue of Liberty and all of those other. Because remember, at one point they alluded to Craven the Hunter was coming through, Rhino was coming through.
Right.
So all of these other people that now weren't alluded to knowing who Peter Parker, that Peter Parker was Spider-Man, were now coming through.
Mm-hmm.
So in essence, they had broken down, and all of these other universes were coming through. And in order to send everybody back, I don't know if he sealed everything up properly.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm wondering if now this is going to be the repercussion of he left somewhat of a door open, so to speak, to these other universes. But I don't know what's going to be the trigger that reopens them to now where he's having to seek out this help, or has he been steadily trying to keep them closed and they keep reopening and he's closing them maybe one by one or a little at a time. And that's why ultimately he reaches out to Wanda to see about getting her help. And
Mm-hmm.
but unfortunately, I think it's not going to be something new. I think it's going to be the events from No Way Home spilling out now into this new Doctor Strange.
Gotcha, man. And then what are the characters that we see in the commercials that was supposed to be his bad for Doctor Strange, where everyone has their good guy, bad guy version in the comic books? It's Baron Mordo, played by the brilliant Chiwetel Ejiofor, who is going to be cast again as Baron Mordo. But we're not sure if the person we're seeing in the commercial is a variant or if it's our Baron Mordo for the MCU, just older. Who knows? We'll see when we get there. But Sanj, from what you remember of Baron Mordo, he really didn't have a huge part to play in Doctor Strange Part 1 as more of a person. He was almost like the trainer. He was training Doctor Strange. And it wasn't until the end of the movie where Chiwetel Ejiofor was, well, not Chiwetel, that's the real person, but Baron Mordo was saying he doesn't want any more wizards in this world because he's seeing what Doctor Strange is doing and what all these other people are doing with wizard powers. I'm done. No more. Talk to me about Baron Mordo and what you're hoping to see from him.
Well, I don't know. I hope it's not the one that's there. I hope it's a variant so that they can have him come at Doctor Strange differently.
Gotcha.
Because what Baron Mordo was trying to say is like he sees the danger, right? And that was kind of like alluding to where we are now, the danger of all these wizards with all this power that at any time, if they discover these powers, they can mess up everything. And what happened? Because remember, Stephen Strange he was like the newest one, right? With that type of power. And guess what? He was the one that eventually it looks like messes up everything, like fucks up everything.
Yeah.
Right. So I hope it's like a variant version that is a lot more malevolent or like a lot more ready to come down hard on Stephen Strange for messing everything up. Not like a mentor kind of guy that taught himself. Like this is somebody who's out to get him.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, looking for the commercials, Brandon, it looks like Baron Mordo is the one that's kind of responsible for holding him down in the cell. And if not, Baron Mordo is part of the Illuminati. Well, you know what? Can't do the quotations no more. The freaking commercial said it's the Illuminati now.
Yeah.
I'm over these
I
commercials.
didn't see the
I am so
commercial.
mad that they did that.
Sorry, Brandon.
Fuck everybody.
I'm about
We're
to shut
ruining it
down
for
Hob.
Brandon.
I'm gonna shut down Hob.
Hob goes dark. Zero dark Javi.
So Brandon, what do you think about Baron Mordo with the secret team that he's on? Illuminati.
You know, I try and like make sense of it because the Illuminati in the comics has all of these big people, all of these big names in it. And while I'm certain many of those people are still going to show up, you know, I'm sure Marvel is trying to kind of put themselves out of some of these past names, like the Inhumans, because you know Black Bolt is a part of the Illuminati, and their series did not do well on ABC. So my assumption is to get that extra chair available, you know, maybe the smart move was to put Baron Mordo in it. So that way there's a reason for Doctor Strange to be more surprised by this group of people, you know. So I think it's just going to be used as a tool because like there is a huge moment they could have with the Illuminati, whether they ruined it or not. They could really do something with it, but like I understand like the Inhuman show on ABC was garbage, and as great as the actor was,
garbage.
as great as he was who played Black Bolt, like I can't see them bringing him in. You know, kind of the same way they disregard Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Like, you know.
Yeah.
Wasn't he mute the entire episode?
He's a mute because
he can't speak.
He can speak, but if he speaks, it sends all these damaging shockwaves that could like destroy everything.
Yeah, his voice just has a power to destroy, so that's why he doesn't
What a
speak.
stupid power.
I think in the comics, they kill his son, and he does a whisper, and it like destroyed.
Yeah,
like the whole
That's
just
crazy.
whispering because he was mourning the loss of his son, and it destroyed everything.
Oh my god. Well, I mean, we'll see. I mean, listen, Al, talk to me, man. Who's gonna be in? It is such a stupid power. My voice.
Pray that guy never.
So I mean, Al, talk. For real, you can't say ouch. You know, like it's just stupid. Like no one thought this one out. He's always like, you know, he can never celebrate anything.
He never wins an argument.
Dude, I'd lose that fucking power right there. You know what? On second thought, like, oh man, it is stupid. But anyway, it's probably foolish shit too. Al, talk to me, man. So we're seeing these images of these guys in the throne and the commercials that Brandon doesn't know is the Illuminati.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean,
Brandon is gonna roll up.
Yeah, Brandon's just gonna appear in my back door right over here and just like slap me in the back of the head. But you know, it's in the comic books. Brandon, who's in that team? Brandon,
an Illuminati is
Namor,
Captain America, Black Bolt, Mr. Fantastic, and Charles Xavier.
I don't think Captain America. I think it's Iron Man, not Captain.
Did I say Captain America? I meant Iron Man. I meant Iron Man. If I said Cap.
Iron Man, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, like, Al, do you really think like those people are gonna be in that movie, or is it gonna be these people that we've kind of like seen?
I think my suspicion is what they're gonna do is they're gonna bring variants. Since we've already been introduced to that concept through Loki. So we're going to get variants. So, you know, per the rumors, we're going to get a Tom Cruise Iron Man.
Ooh.
You know, we already seen the wheelchair, so we know who, and we've heard the voice, so we know who else we're going to get.
Captain Picard?
Possibly, you know.
It looks like Doctor Strange is wearing a red shirt.
Yeah, so with them, you know what that means. So I really don't think, like, I think this is going to be their way to introduce certain characters that everybody's been wondering how they're going to introduce. Okay. So we're going to get a multiverse. We're going to get the whole blending of them together. And then whatever he does to fix it, we're going to have remnants of them. Like, you know, say certain universes get combined. And now the universe that had them is now in ours. And that would explain the sudden emergence of mutants.
Gotcha.
So that's my concept.
So Al, you're going. We're getting mutants in this. The mutants going to come out of this.
Well, we're going to get introduced to them. So again, like the whole merging, I think is going to be how the movie ends, and then that what opens the door for them to then incorporate mutants in the future.
Wow, you know, I'm curious, Sanj. I kind of feel the way that Al does, but then again, I don't want to get my feelings hurt, so I don't want to put too much that we're finally going to get the X-Men and the mutants and the X-Factor and X-Force all up in here and Deadpool. Do you think that this movie is what's going to lead the MCU to show us the mutants from here on out?
Well, I mean, to not to you know piggyback too much on what Al's saying, but I'm going to use his exact words. This is what opens that door, because if Charles Xavier is there, we know he's a mutant, right? So if he exists in all of this, then they're definitely showing us that there is at least one timeline where you have mutants, right? Because he's the mutant supreme, as it were, right? So if he's there, then mutants have to be there somewhere, and why not? Isn't that what everybody's been wanting? And then they had to find a way to make it work where it makes sense. So if everything has to come together or somehow combined, or different things have to get combined, this is what it is. Gotcha. And I would be very happy with that, because I would very much like to see the interaction of some of the mutant characters with the regular MCU characters.
Yeah, I think with Iron Man and Cap out, they need some more things to kind of get us all hyped up. I mean, listen, I'm with Shang-Chi and all these other new characters from the Eternals, man, but there's nothing like a Wolverine.
Exactly. So yeah. You know, I mean, as bad as some of those X-Men movies were, we were happy to come back to see Wolverine.
Hell yeah. What? Get in there, Brandon. What were you saying there?
There's a comic storyline that they've been doing now for the last 3-4 years now, in which, like, Moira McTaggart, if you remember who she is, she's like Xavier's love interest. Apparently, she turns out to be a mutant, and she has like 10 lives or something like that. and every time she dies, the timeline restarts. So she's like the center of all mutants, apparently. And the
Oh, wow.
last timeline that they've done is like this new comic, and the mutants all live on this remote island called Krakoa, in which they can like be brought back to life, like kind of like plant people in a way. It's kind of weird, but like basically the mutants, they don't die. So like every time Cyclops has gone off and he's fought, if anytime he's died, the island has remade Cyclops. So what some people might be saying from the emergence of Charles Xavier is that maybe this island might now be uncovered to the world, kind of like a Themyscira kind of thing, and now
Right.
that might allow for the mutants to leave the island and then join us, per se.
Gotcha. I mean, listen, I'm hoping for it. I mean, I think it would make the next few years of the MCU, as long as they don't do X-Men next month, you know what I mean? It'll make it interesting to see what they do with it. Because I would love to see, Storm in Black Panther Part 2. I would love to see Cyclops and Jean Grey appear somewhere, but they're gonna have to explain that in a way that makes sense for the story, for the MCU, for the way that we've been following it. I don't know. I'm very hyped and hopeful. Got my fingers crossed. But then again, I don't want to feel like how we were feeling with some of these shows that were like, oh, these people are going to show up and they don't show up. Or, I remember WandaVision. There was a couple of times we thought Mr. Fantastic was going to show up and he never did. And Mephisto and all this stuff.
Man,
but,
how incredible would that have been if Mr.
dude.
Fantastic had show? Oh my god.
What was it that she kept saying that? Oh, my
He's the
friend,
scientist.
my friend is going to be here soon. Wink, wink. And it's like,
in episode 4,
your friend was a regular soldier. Episode 4, keep watching. And like, I swear she's winking at us, but she's not supposed to. But is this fourth wall breaking? Oh man. So Al, listen, man, part of this thing that we have not yet talked about, but we've mentioned the name and the show a couple of times, and it's the biggest part of this story, which is WandaVision. Which is Wanda's whole story there. We'll go from WandaVision because when we did WandaVision Prep, we talked about her whole story from Avengers Age of Ultron, where she first appeared with her brother, Pietro. Yeah. And, we got into all of that. And we know that WandaVision went through a whole lot in that. So tell me, from what you remember from WandaVision now, where do you see that story taking place? Because I thought she was kind of over everything, where she kind of got that whole went through all the phases of loss in that show.
Yeah, that's what I thought so too. But then remember, when it ends, she's using the Darkhold to look for her sons, because she hears their voice call out for her, telling her to help. So she goes out looking for them. So I'm wondering if Wanda's not always the bad guy. My suspicion is she turns out to be either the bad guy or one of the bad guys in this movie. And I'm wondering if, as she's helping him either resolve or get rid of these multiverses, she finds one where they're alive. And then he gets rid of that universe. And I'm wondering if that's what prompts that conversation in the trailer where she says, when I break the rules, when you break the rules, you're the good guy. When I break them, I'm the bad guy.
Right.
And I think, I'm wondering if that's how they're going to transition her again, losing them and finally breaking her, making her the bad guy.
Gotcha. I mean, they really haven't shown a bad guy in these trailers. They've shown the Shima-Gorath, which is that octopus looking thing. And they've also shown like some creatures in the background, but it's kind of been looking like Wanda might be the bad guy of this movie. What's your thoughts on that?
It's interesting because we see several Doctor Strange in this movie, like a zombie Doctor Strange, and we see who could be interpreted as like the Sorcerer Supreme, evil Strange from What If. So we don't know who these guys are. They look bad, but you're right. It does look like Wanda is the villain of the movie, and I'm even wondering if it's actually our Wanda and not a variant of Wanda, who, in her universe, she got so strong because of the Darkhold, and maybe she wants to show this Wanda, how to get her kids back by fully utilizing its power. you know, something like that. And then maybe this Wanda variant turns out to be, you know, Nightmare or something like that. You know, maybe that Wanda goes by Nightmare and not the Scarlet Witch. You know, so like I'm waiting
Right.
to see if this becomes like a Wanda thing or not. But you know, it does seem like it's going that way because we haven't seen a villain, and so all roads are pointing to Wanda. And you know, as we know from the comics, Wanda wasn't a, you know, she's not a hero all the time. She tiptoes the line. You know, I wouldn't call her an anti-villain because sometimes she's just a plain villain. Like she just doesn't care. Like in the comic books, she's not as compassionate as the Wanda that we have here. She tiptoes the line. She does what she
Right.
wants to do. You know, so maybe this is now the new Wanda who, because of her loss, her grief, trauma, all this and that, like you can even hear in that line that Al said, you know, she did say it very sarcastically. Like she's like, oh, you know, like she put on a voice and all that like that. So maybe this Wanda, she doesn't care anymore. You know, like the only she has the things she
Right.
cares about, those are her kids, and other than that, fuck it. Like I don't need it. I don't need to be an Avenger. I don't need anyway. Like I want my kids, and then F you, and I'll do whatever the hell I want. Like that might be the Wanda we're getting now.
Gotcha, man. How about for you, Sanj? What's your thought on Wanda being in this movie and the way that she's being depicted so far in the trailers?
I agree with B. I think I think we're gonna see more than one Wanda in this movie, and I think that what she's talking about, you know, to what Al was saying, what she's talking about is like, you know, when she gave that line, you know, when she breaks the rules, she's the villain, but when he does it, he's the hero. I think she's referring straight to what we saw in WandaVision.
Mm-hmm.
That was her breaking the rules, like her making her own world.
Mm-hmm.
Right, that to live in, and everybody made her out to be the bad guy for doing it. I think that's what she's referring to there. But I really do think that we are going to get more than one version of Wanda to deal with the more than one version of Strange, and it looks like we're going to get. I think there's just going to. It's a multiverse of madness, right? There's going to be multiple versions of maybe more than the two of them.
I mean, there's
Right.
5 Doctor Stranges in the trailer, so.
Right,
It's fucking
right.
crazy.
Yeah.
Right.
It's
So
just
yeah,
crazy.
it's gonna. I think it's gonna be mind bending, you know, to try to keep up with all of who we're dealing with.
Right.
Right. I think we're gonna have. Yeah. So I firmly believe that we are gonna be dealing with at least 2 or 3 versions of Wanda.
Wow.
All right, man. And listen, man, we've talked about like 40 minutes long without mentioning one of the G characters of Doctor Strange. Fucking Wong. All my single
What?
ladies, Wong is been killing it lately. If not, am I correct in
All the
Spider-Man
single
No Way
ladies.
Home? That's what that was his song. I just watched Doctor Strange Part 1 last night. That's his shit right there. Beyonce's his shit.
And he is single, ready to mingle.
I just
And-
love that
and
his name
listen,
is actually
and as
Benedict
of-
Wong too, so it works. Like that's his actual name, so it
But-
really works.
That's his actual name. You want to play Wong? So in No
Can you
Way
imagine
Home,
if the character's name was something else? He just couldn't respond, so he said, "Fuck it." His name is Wong.
it's Wong. You're not gonna get this shit straight. His name is Wong.
You don't answer to the character's name. Fuck it. His character's name is Wong.
Oh man, dude. But again, from No Way Home, he is now the Sorcerer Supreme, right?
Yeah.
Which is kind of crazy. And I love the fact that he was the one in Shang-Chi where he was in the Madripoor fights club scene with
Abomination.
Abomination, right? And
Yeah.
that whole thing got me like, how is he doing this? But I guess the Sorcerer Supreme got some privileges.
Yeah.
But I'm just looking forward to seeing Wong continue to be this like, it's so weird because he comes off humble, but there's a part of him that's like, yo,
He
dude,
is
he's a
not.
badass.
Yeah.
There's a reason why.
And he's like grumpy. He's like always grumpy.
Oh
too,
yeah, I
like
love
that.
the grump. I love the grump. Yeah, man. Doctor Strange.
He's like, I don't need this. I don't need this stress. leave me out of this, Steven. I like the fact that he calls him Steven.
Steven.
You know, it's like it sounds like he's scolding him every time he says his name. Steven. Leave me out of this, Steven. Be careful, Steven. He calls him by his straight government all the time.
Yeah, man. I love it, man. I love Wong, man. I think he's great, man. How about for you, Bree?
I think Wong is great. I feel really bad too because it feels like everything that ever is wrong that happens to him is because of Stephen Strange. So like even watching this trailer, he's getting tied up, he's getting beat, he's getting like hit with the whip. And like this is all because of you, Doctor Strange. Like, what the hell?
I mean, that might just be his sex scene though.
Everybody gets one.
The multiverse is really mad.
Eternals changes the game. We can do this now.
For real.
Oh, man. How about for you, Al? What's your thoughts on Wong there?
No, I like Wong as he. It's good that they're showing that the side character or the secondary character of the show doesn't have to be the weak character, like
Right.
who the main guy always has to save. Like
It's Tonto.
yeah. So it shows that no, the side character can actually be an equal. It doesn't have to be a subordinate or some the comic relief of the movie all the time.
Yeah.
So I like that they're showing all these little clips of kind of like what they were using. I'm drawing a blank. Samuel L. Jackson's character, Nick Fury.
Nick Fury.
Oh yeah.
Like they show him in every movie, and he's touching on everything because he is the Sorcerer Supreme. So I like I like that they've brought justice to that character and showed that in light of him being gone, Doctor Strange being gone, he stepped up and he's fulfilling the role well.
Yeah, man. I mean, Wong, I think he's gonna have a big part in this, man, and I hope that he's doing great, like big things in the movie. Because I mean, there's a part where you see him screaming Doctor Strange's name. I just hope they don't do like the classic thing where they built this guy up, and now this is like the movie where he leaves the MCU, and I don't want to see Wong go.
Yeah.
Please keep Wong. Please keep Wong. But another character that's in this thing is Rachel McAdams' character, which is weird because Christine there, it hasn't had a big part in these movies or in the MCU, and she's such a big actress, and it's hard to see like she should be doing more than what she was doing in the first Doctor Strange, and she hasn't appeared ever since, except for the What If episodes, where she was incredible. But I mean, talk to me, Al. What's your thought on Rachel McAdams' character in this whole thing, or what she could possibly bring to this Doctor Strange movie?
I don't know what she can bring. I mean, like
she's getting married.
I don't know much. Like, I don't know much about the Doctor Strange backstory. Like, what is So, other than her having been the love interest, like, is she just moving the story along? Like, which is a shame because Rachel McAdams as a character, she's good. Like, so to bring someone of that caliber in for such a trivial role, it makes me want to believe there's something more to this role that's coming, like that they knew was going to be down the line for them to bring her in so early and get her interested in the role so early. So there's got to be something more in this movie that we're not aware of in terms of her role and her impact on the events, like, or how much she may help, because she seems to be helping in a couple of the scenes. I don't know how she's able to help since she's supposedly, I mean, no offense to the role, to the profession, but she's just a doctor and you're here going into multiple universes. So how she ends up helping Doctor Strange or, what's the other character's names? B? The one with the star portals?
Oh, America Chavez.
America Chavez.
Yeah. Yeah.
Miss America.
These people and you're somehow helping them. Like, I don't know. So that's why I'm wondering how they improve her character to explain why she's helping at that level.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, in the commercials, it looks like she is a part of some of the stuff that's happening in the multiverse. Like, she's with Doctor Strange and Miss America there. So, I mean, she may have a bigger role in this movie, which I'm hoping so, because again, I don't think they did her justice in the first one. So I'm hoping to see her and get some more time in there. Let's see. I guess one of the last things I want to ask you guys before we end the podcast, and I'll start with you, Sanj, on this one is, if you could have something crazy or major happen in this movie because it is a multiverse of madness, or is there like someone you want to see show up that'll be like, oh shit, or something that you want to happen in this movie that's gonna really like blow your mind? If you could put a guess out there, what's something you would want to see, Sanj?
Well, knowing about the council there, we're not going to say the word, knowing about the council there that he's going to be brought in front of, I would have really liked for them to not give give away who's on the council.
Okay.
I would have loved to not really basically know that Charles Xavier is on the council.
Yeah, that would have been big to not know.
That would have been such a huge for me specifically. That would have been such a huge moment to like they bring him in and unveil, and I'm like, holy shit! That would have been great. So now I don't really know what I could expect because anything could happen.
Right.
Like that makes it that anything could happen. So the fact that I know anything could happen, nothing would really surprise me.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? So it was like, okay, because everything's broken.
The multiverse.
So, yeah, it's a multiverse. Yeah, yeah. So I don't know. I really don't know what I could say. Like I really want to. Honestly, that it leads to the mutants that being brought into the mix. That's what I would really like to happen because I would love to get that in there.
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, I think the thing that I really want to see is just like you just said, Sanj, is that this somehow leads to the mutants now being here. I think my biggest would be to see Deadpool. And the reason why I say Deadpool is because Deadpool has already been said that they were going to be part of the MCU. They're going to work on a movie. So that I'm like, this is the perfect opportunity to kind of like show us that he's really in this universe, that he is a part of the MCU. And it's kind of silly and funny, but I think it means so much to see Deadpool appear because it'll be the first Fox universe thing that's in the MCU. So to me, X-Men, yes, the whole like mutant thing, but Deadpool specifically, that would be for me to see there. I would lose my shit if I saw Deadpool in this movie. B, how about you, man? What's something that you would love to see that would just blow your mind if you saw it in this movie?
I think for me, thinking about this movie, I feel like a lot of the shows and all of this are about power struggles and about, taking out whatever is holding things in constant. And in this movie, we have the idea of this Illuminati. And I don't know if they exist out of time, if they exist in their own created universe. Like, I don't know where they exist, and how they have this compound that they do. But I think that the idea of an Illuminati is too big, for this movie to end. And Doctor Strange knows that like these group of people are always there watching. I think I need to see them die.
Wow.
Wow.
So Illuminati gets thrown in the movie, and then like almost like the X-Force and Deadpool 2, they're done.
I want to see Wanda gut them. Like I think because
wow.
because like we think about like Loki, right? With He Who Remains.
Right.
He Who Remains is the character who couldn't have been killed, right? And essentially he's a variant, or possibly Kang is a variant of him. And he was at the top of this, ensuring that nothing can branch off of the timeline, that everything stayed the way it was supposed to, because he knew it was going to happen, right? And then he was taken out. And at that point, anything can happen because who's holding it together, right? So now you now have this group of beings who are apparently, they're superheroes from other multiverses who are so smart that they came together to form this board of superheroes who are now trying to keep things together. Well, I want this madness to take out these guys from the board.
Wow. Jesus. Take them out before we get them. He said gut them, Al. like I know what you did last summer.
I think the movie's rated PG, B.
Yeah, damn, B.
I thought there was a 13 after that.
Still.
Yeah, Al, there's something that could shock you, Al. What would be in this movie, Al? What's going to be in this movie that's going to shock Al?
Kid, this is what I would love to do is, like B said, one of the members of this group is Mr. Fantastic. That when they bring that character out onto the screen, it's Krasinski.
Yeah,
Kid,
I'm not sure about that one, but
Kid,
dude,
that's who I mean, I know it's
All right,
all
I
over
could
the
see that.
internet.
I
Everybody's
could see
pushing
that.
for him. It's one of it's one of the fan castings that I've agreed with. You
yeah,
know, like everybody's always said, "Oh, put this person in that role." You know, sometimes I'm like, okay. Sometimes I'm like, nah.
Mhm.
This is the one where I'm like, yeah, I'm one of those voices. Like, yeah, this is who.
This is Wow
already,
wants it.
yeah, this is already my Mr. Fantastic. So if they bring him out onto the screen, like, it'll set the stage, not only because there is going to be a Fantastic Four movie, and
Right.
you know, giving us a hint of, okay, yeah, we already got Mr. Fantastic. We'll surprise you guys with the rest.
Right.
But that'll be my oh shit moment of the movie.
Gotcha. You know, I got to cheat on the whole team here. I got one last one. And it's only because it makes sense. If we're going to see Professor X in this damn movie, I need to see Magneto. I want to see Magneto. And I think we need to see Magneto. Somehow, some way, I want Magneto to show up somewhere and save Brandon's thing from happening, because that's fucking morbid, Brandon.
I just feel like it makes
All right,
sense.
so I'll take it I'll take it a step further for you, for you, Hav.
Go for it.
Are we talking about Sir Ian McKellen, or are we talking about Michael Fassbender?
Oh no. Oh, those are two great ones. But I just because of like the way we saw Fassbender pretend to levitate shit. Oh, I think I want Fassbender in there, which is going to be weird because we're going to have Patrick Stewart. We should have Sir Ian McKellen, but I do want Fassbender because I think he could play the role a little bit longer. But who knows, man? Who knows?
Yeah, I enjoyed
Anybody
him.
else got
I
a
enjoyed
second?
him more as Magneto, and
Yeah.
I enjoyed Patrick Stewart more as Professor X. So it's funny.
I just want to see like the
That's crazy.
unnamed guard in the Illuminati, like just guy hanging around, and at one moment he's just standing up and just like tring.
You know, like I thought about saying Wolverine, but I'm like, that would be too far out there. You know what I'm saying? That'd be a little too far out there.
Like
If
the
the
Spanish
guard
guy.
goes shrink,
And he says, "Hey, bub."
I know, smoke a little cigar. Yeah, man, that would be nuts. If Wolverine's in that shit, I would lose my mind.
I think we're asking for too much. No,
Yeah, we're all
I
asking
think
for
we're
too
real
much.
out of pocket right now. We are real out of pocket right now.
Yeah, this from our standpoint, this movie's 3 hours long. It's like 2 hours, so it's like wait, all this shit cannot happen in this movie, dude. But let me tell you right now, if all the Illuminati die, Magneto's in this movie.
No,
the
gutted,
X-Men
gutted,
introduced-
not just die, gutted.
gutted, right? Gutted.
Knife goes in, guts come out. Knife goes in, guts come out.
If the X-Men are in this movie, I am willing to get in trouble and come into this room here with this door screaming and waking up my wife in the middle of the night. I'm willing to do it.
Good luck.
Get in trouble and all that.
All right, I will keep
Nice.
the guest room made up.
Thank you. Aren't you out your goddamn mind? Call me out here talking about some
She
X-Men.
will throw a chancleta at you so fast, kid. Nah, she got
Yeah,
that
man.
boomerang one, son. You gonna duck?
Oh.
You gonna dodge, but it's gonna hit you on the way back.
Oh man, so crazy, man. Just this is why we do these preps, man, because I'm so excited to see this movie.
I miss doing the preps, man. I am so glad movies
Yeah.
are back. I miss like how like every other episode was a prep and we were like on it. Like it's like the excitement of like the anticipation. And then like when then you go and you see what it really is, but then the times you're right about what like because B's always right. That's the thing. B's always right about his predictions.
I know. They're gonna be gutted. It's so bad, but I can't wait to see it. Oh man, guys, if you're listening to us, watching us on YouTube, please, you gotta subscribe and hit the plus symbol on your
I mean, send
playlist
us
so
some
that way
emails. Like, talk to us, people.
you know, you guys got to be part of this next episode because we are going to go in on this movie when it comes out this week, and then we're going to talk about it. Because, see, this is a good thing we watch it on Thursday, because if it's off the fucking hook, we're probably going to watch it again on Friday or Saturday, and then we'll have even more to see on Sunday. So we're definitely going to talk about Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness next week. So come back, check out the review for that when next week's episode comes out. But guys, please, again, hit the subscribe button, hit that plus symbol on your podcast playlist, so that way we come up to you every single week when we put out a podcast. So, man, listen, we're going to end this podcast now so we can get closer to Thursday, and we'll see you guys on the next podcast. So, coming out of Long Island, New York, we are the Real Fan Review. We got our man in the chair, Al.
Have a good night, everybody.
We got my brother, B.
Adios, everybody.
We got my boy, your boy, Sanj.
Good night, everybody, and be safe out there.
And myself, Hav, again, saying thank you guys for listening. Thank you so much. Again, give us a shout. And if you think Black Bolt's power is somehow awesome and amazing, email me, because I would love to see what you think. Why? Please. It's stupid. We'll catch you guys on the next podcast. Till next time.